I hate saying the words Confederate helicopter out loud. When you think about a combat helicopter, you probably think about a Black Hawk or an Apache, or one of the numerous other examples of vertical takeoff and landing vehicles engineered sometime last century. Helicopters with their radar, electronics, and space-age construction are often thought of as a very modern instrument of war. But what if I told you that as early as 1862, the short-lived and not very well-liked Confederate States of America drew up plans for their own helicopter in order to surveil and bomb their Union adversaries during the American Civil War? My name is Max, and you're watching Those History Guys. And today we're diving into another story that I bet you didn't learn in high school, the time the Confederacy tried to build a helicopter. Our story begins in 1862 in Mobile, Alabama, which was being blockaded by the Union at the time. A Confederate engineer named William Powers drew up the Civil War's first plans for an aerial reconnaissance and bombing vehicle. His design featured a steam engine flanked by 2 smokestacks, which was mated to 2 air screws for lift and 2 air screws for thrust. And despite its rather interesting design, the vehicle's steam engine was too heavy and the air screws could not provide enough lift for the vehicle to get airborne. According to the family of William Powers, it is said that those involved in the project were worried that the Union might try to steal the plans and perfect them, and so the project was shelved and hidden away, at least temporarily. Just the following year, however, in 1863, a dentist from Richmond, Virginia named R. Finley Hunt wrote to the president of the Confederacy, Jefferson Davis, to share with him a new design for an aerial bombing vehicle. Davis referred the matter to Robert E. Lee, who appointed a committee to look into the project further. Much like the previous attempt at such a project, however, the power-to-weight ratio of the vehicle was all askew, and the helicopter, much like the Confederacy itself, never really got off the ground. So with the Confederates' likelihood of building an air-screwed helicopter-like vehicle looking pretty slim, they decided to take another approach. A man named Roderick Davidson had brought up an old idea that he had conjured from before the Civil War had even begun of a flapping wing bird-style vehicle that he claimed could be used for reconnaissance and for bombing missions. He asked any willing Confederate soldiers to donate between $1 and $5 for the project, and he allegedly raised almost $800 for his flapping wing airplane design. The full-scale model, however, that was constructed for the project was destroyed in a windstorm, so I think it would be hard to say that the airplane would have been at all airworthy. Despite the Confederacy's best efforts, the rebel states were never actually able to build a helicopter or a plane with flapping wings. They were, however, much like the Union in the North, successful in deploying balloons for reconnaissance missions. In the end, even if the Confederates had gotten their engineering refined, it's hard to say if they would have stood a chance against the industrial powerhouse of the North. After all, it was very likely that the Union could have copied the designs and produced the aircraft in much larger numbers at much lower prices. Many of the failed prototypes and blueprints of these weird Confederate helicopters are still on display in museums across the country. Now, even though these Confederate helicopter designs are a little bit goofy and clearly not mechanically sound, they do go to show how war industry and innovating new tactics of warfare has long been a part of the American story, even when we were fighting against ourselves. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy learning about US history, especially some things that maybe you didn't learn about in school, be sure to subscribe. But before you go, I do just want to say thank you very much for the warm and positive reception that the Homestead Strike video has gotten. Part 2 is in the works, so be sure to stay tuned for that. But I do just want to thank each and every one of you for the nice messages and the comments encouraging me to keep making these videos. I do appreciate it. Until next time, my name is Max, and you're watching Those History Guys.